guys, we just arrived at the vet. We're going to check in on Dell, my Ackie Monitor, and Max, my bearded dragon, to see how they're doing. I suspect there's some egg-related issues with Dell, but we'll see if we can confirm that. And Max, we all know, has some egg kind of problems, just to see if she's going to lay them or not. So we'll see how those develop, and we'll see what the vet says. Alright, just to give some context to what's coming up, first we're starting with Dell. We're not going to see a lot of Max in this, although we will talk about it. Dell is getting an ultrasound here to check out if she's gravid. At this point, we are pretty sure she is gravid, but you will see he will look at her tummy and find some eggs. Dell did get her mouth checked and her eyes checked right before this, which you saw, but let's go ahead and play some of this out.
She's got eggs. And you get a better interface on them. They have little tiny dermal plates. Sometimes it's hard to see. That's her liver right there in the front. There's an egg. She's got quite a few in there. She keeps wiggling. It's hard to count with ultrasound because they wiggle around too much. All right, that's on one horn. See how we're doing over here. Flip her around the other way. She needs a little break. Good thing is they all look pretty similar in their shape and conformation. So we have at least 3 or 4 on each side. They're good-sized eggs. Now, these very well may still be pre-ovulatory. If she's been big for a month or more, normally, I mean, they're not usually longer than about 20 days between the time their eggs are able to be fertilized or bred and the time that they're laid. But in her situation, because there's no male, preovulatory follicles can stay in there for quite some time. Those are pretty big. They may not resorb. Usually we're not going to jump right in and do surgery on them unless we see that she's starting to go off food and starting to you know, maybe be less active and not, and if we're out past the time interval that we expect her eggs to be able to be laid, there's the option of spaying her. But if you really want to breed her, then we try to avoid spaying her unless we're sure there's no other option. So what I'll do, we'll just take a DB to see if those membranes are at all visible on X-ray, which means they have some calcium in them. And if they do, that means they're in the uterus. And they're spread out enough to where I think there's a probability they could be in the uterus. But I just want to see at what stage, how far developed they are with the membrane to be able to tell you maybe how much time we have. Here, this is the head down here, this is the tail up here. These eggs are in this area right here and kind of starting to go down here, but they are pre-ovulatory. There's no membranes forming yet. There's no delineation of each individual egg on the X-rays. What we're seeing more or less is just it's not in the uterus yet. Now with your beardie, we've seen some improvement. There's actually shrinking of the pre-ovulatory follicles, like they're resorbing. And I'm not seeing any change in the follicles that make me think the follicles are getting infected or inspissated or, you know, falling off of the ovary. Because sometimes when they do that, suddenly it becomes this foreign body bouncing around the abdomen. The body tries to resorb, which can lead to peritonitis and inflammation. In that situation, surgery is needed. And Dell has pinworms, but pinworms are not usually pathogenic. If she is having diarrhea, you know, if she weren't gravid, I'd say let's deworm her just to, you know, see if it would help with her stool. But because she's gravid and she's probably not eating as much as she normally would, I'm not too worried about things. So basically, Max is doing really good. She's in the reabsorption phase, so she's not going to end up laying any eggs probably. I just have to keep an eye on any unexplained muscle loss or, you know, lack of appetite or depression in her. As for Dell's the one we got to keep an eye on. Basically, she's pre-ovulatory, so I got to keep an eye on any bad signs she's going south. Basically, muscle loss, same things I got to keep an eye on for Max. And both of them just maintain their optimal temperatures and, you know, just what they usually need. Dell also has some pinworms, pretty common in a lot of reptiles.
They're at like a safe level. They'll probably be dewormed eventually once, you know, this whole gravid thing is over with. I'm not sure if she's going to end up laying eggs or not. I think it's too soon to tell is what I sort of grabbed from our conversations at the vet. But pretty much just keep an eye on Dell, make sure she's eating, drinking, doing her normal thing, and if she wants to lay eggs, I guess she'll lay them. But they're pretty well formed, it looks like, and I guess we'll have to see what comes of it. So any updates on that, we'll let you know. I have a vet checkup in a month for both of them, just to check Max one more time. I think she's in the clear though, but then we'll see what happens with Dell. So anyway, check that lower right hand corner, subscribe and turn on that bell notification, leave a like, a comment, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. It is Monday.